Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we are doing the fantasy heavyweight tournament rankings. I'm continuing them as we are going to look at my number 19 heavyweight based on my point system. The former 4-time heavyweight champion of the world, former undisputed heavyweight champion, Evander, the real deal, Holyfield. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get. Excuse me, as I continue to build my channel here. So, guys, the tournament's coming. We're almost there. Once I get through with all the videos breaking down each fighter in the tournament, I'm going to do a rules and regs video. And then I'm going to announce the first round matchups and go from there. And it should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So, Evander Holyfield. I mean, Jesus Christ. One of the best heavyweights of all time. And he was that before the millennium started in 2000. And that's what this tournament's about. The last, from the millennium. The start of the millennium till now. He entered the year 2000, but in the 90s he was dominant. You know, he had become the undisputed heavyweight champion. He knocked out Buster Douglas after Douglas had upset Mike Tyson. He went on to beat George Foreman, lost the title to Riddick Bowe, won it back, then would lose the title again, I think, I can't remember who he lost the title the second time to, but he had, I know he had issues. Oh no, he lost the title to Michael Moore in their first fight. Then he upset Mike Tyson and knocked him out. Then he beat him by DQ. He went on to unify the WBA and IBF titles by beating Michael Moore in a rematch. Then reigned on as champion until '99 when he fought Lennox Lewis twice, a controversial draw, which most people felt he lost in the first fight. Then he challenged Lewis for the undisputed title to unify all 3 belts in November of '99, and he came up short, losing a convincing 12-round unanimous decision. And most people felt that Holyfield was done, that there was no way he was going to come back from that, you know. And, you know, I totally get that. You know, Holyfield was, he was an older heavyweight when that went down. And so most people felt, you know, like he was just never going to be what he was. And they were right. He wasn't, you know, what he was before. But opportunities would be abound for Holyfield in the 2000s. So Holyfield was 38 years old when that happened, and he entered this millennium as the former heavyweight world champion. Then he got a golden opportunity in April of 2000. Was it April? I believe it was April of 2000, when he would take on. Excuse me, guys. I'm looking for Holyfield's resume again. When he would get an opportunity at the vacant title against John Ruiz, actually in August of 2000. The vacant WBA title, because Lennox Lewis, after he became undisputed champion, he vacated the WBA belt because he didn't want to fight John Ruiz because it wasn't a big fight. He would move forward and fight undefeated Michael Grant. The WBA would strip him. So Holyfield, being in such long standing with the WBA, was granted the opportunity to fight for the vacant title against John Ruiz. And everybody expected Holyfield to win. But Ruiz ended up outworking Holyfield and seemingly should have got the victory. But the judges came back with a controversial unanimous decision for Holyfield, as he became the first and still only ever 4-time heavyweight world champion. But the controversy was loud about that fight with Ruiz. And Holyfield, never liking controversy, would give Ruiz a rematch almost 7 months later in March of 2001. And this time the judges would not get it wrong, and Ruiz helped out with that. He would outwork Holyfield again, and in the 11th round he would put Holyfield down with an overhand right, and the judges came back with a unanimous decision in favor of Ruiz, rightfully so. And that was the last time Evander Holyfield would touch a heavyweight world title, but he would get opportunities. A third fight with Holyfield was a big draw for Ruiz because Lennox Lewis was going after Hasim Rahman in a rematch, so unifying belts. just wasn't on the table. So Ruiz would take the big money fight against Holyfield, who was a huge name. And the two would go at it again. And this time, Holyfield would probably fight his best fight of the trilogy. And you can argue that he won this fight, but the fight ended in a draw. And Ruiz would hold on to the world title. But Holyfield, again, would get opportunities. In June of 2002, he would fight former unified champ Hasim Rahman after Rahman had lost the rematch with Lennox Lewis. And surprisingly, even though Rahman was the favorite, Holyfield would outwork Rahman in this fight. But a headbutt caused by Holyfield, or many headbutts, caused a huge swelling over Rahman's eye. And the referee the ring doctor stopped the fight in the 8th round. It went to the scorecards, and Holyfield got a technical split decision over Rahman. That put him in the number 2 spot in the IBF, and then Lennox Lewis vacated the IBF title. Vacated the IBF heavyweight title because he didn't want to fight number 1 contender Chris Byrd, because Byrd wasn't a big name, and Lewis was coming off of the win over Mike Tyson. So thank you to Evander, to Lennox Lewis again. But Holyfield got the opportunity against Byrd in December of 2002, but would get dominated in this fight. He would get completely outclassed against Chris Byrd, outworked, and lost the 12-round unanimous decision. Following that, he would lose 2 more times in a row to James Toney in October of 2003. He would actually get stopped in the 9th round against Toney, surprisingly. Then he took on Larry Donald, a veteran, and lost the unanimous decision to him. And then he would come back and get 4 victories in a row. He would defeat Jeremy Bates and Fresa Kendo in an upset 12-round unanimous decision in 2006. And would get a TKO win over Vinny Mataloni, and then Lou Savarese, a decision win over him in 2007. Then in October of 2007, Sultan Ibragimov, the newly crowned WBO champion, would give him an opportunity at the world title. Holyfield at this age was now, I think he was 45. 44, 45 years old. He would challenge Ibragimov for the title. And Ibragimov was just a bad matchup. It was almost like the Chris Byrd fight. He just completely outboxed and outclassed Holyfield. Unanimous decision, and he came up short again. And following that, everybody thought, okay, this guy's done. But surprisingly, at 46 years old, he and 14 months after the loss to Ibragimov, Nikolai Valuev, the Russian giant, in December of 2008, decided to defend his heavyweight title against Evander Holyfield. And Holyfield was a heavy underdog coming in, but he surprisingly would be in this fight with the 7-foot, 300-pound Russian giant. He, was boxing and did the best he could at 46 years old, and almost pulled off the upset as he lost the 12-round majority decision. He would fight 3 more times before he would hang him up. In 2010, he beat Francois Botha, TKO'd him. Then he had a no contest against a guy named Sherman Williams in 2011. And then he beat former Mike Tyson conqueror Brian Nielsen in his last fight, 10th round TKO in 2011 as well. And that was it. Holyfield wouldn't fight again. But Holyfield, I mean, Jesus Christ, would opportunity after opportunity, a couple of them earned, a couple of them just based off of Lennox Lewis vacating belts. But Holyfield, he fought in 6 world title fights, going 1-4-1. You can argue he won a couple of those fights that he lost, or the draw. And based on my point system, he came in at number 19 right here. And, you got to show some love to Evander Holyfield. I know it's going to be tough for him to win this tournament, but, I mean, the fact that he competed against these guys into his 40s, into some of the best, I mean, you can say this era wasn't good, but he earned his spot, and he stayed in the mix. And if anything, you look at that last one with Valuev, who, Valuev, whatever. But the guy was 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. Holyfield's 46, and he almost beat him. If that doesn't define his nickname, the real deal, then I don't know what does. So, we'll see how Holyfield does, if he can move on to the next round, to the second round. But you have to appreciate one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, the former undisputed 4-time heavyweight world champion. Evander, the real deal Holyfield, my number 19 heavyweight for this tournament that I'm doing, that I'm hosting. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.